Hey travellers and Aussie abroad here. Today myself, Oliver, my friend Coco and Welshie are all heading down to Mornington Peninsula to go to the Flinders Cliffs. Should be a sick day, it's Boxing Day. Had a fantastic Christmas, it was really fun. Hope you all had a fantastic time.
And enjoy the video. Flinders, once known as Mendy Moke, is a town south of Melbourne, Victoria, Australia. Located on the Mornington Peninsula at the point where the Western Port meets the Bass Strait. At the 2011 census, Flinders had a population of 860. On our way to Flinders Cliffs, Oliver wanted to stop off and show us what was thought to be an old bunker. The building at this locality, however, was built in the late 1960s, after the war. Locate the track through the tea tree, pass through the iron gate posts, and marvel at this most unusual building. In the late 1960s and early 1970s, Trevor Prest used to frequent the Cape Schanck area to enjoy the diving and desolate feel of the place. On the way to Cape Schanck one day, he spied a for sale sign along the Cape Schanck road. He called the agent and ended up buying the undeveloped building block for $500 in the very early 1970s. Originally he used to camp there and then decided it would be good to eventually have a more permanent building. He was studying at the National Gallery Art School and initially built a model of the house he wanted. A friend at the school had just finished a project using a pile of bricks that he no longer had any use for, so Trevor bought the bricks from him and these became the first building materials for the house.
Ollie, where are we?
We are down at the peninsula near Cape Schanck.
All of the building materials were brought down from Melbourne, many of them including the bricks on the back of a motorbike. The building site had to be dug out by hand, and the first structure was a small brick room that now appears as an alcove in the main building. The small lockable brick shed was designed to keep tools, etc., until the whole building was completed. It took about 5 years to complete the build of the house. After the bricks, the big central pipe that incorporates the spiral staircase was brought down from Melbourne. The decoration on the doors is an artistic touch, and perhaps to practice the welding he was learning at the time. At one stage, the local council discovered the building. He was initially informed by the building inspector that a permit could be granted for the structure. The inspector later seemed to have changed his mind and informed Trevor that a permit could not possibly be granted. After some discussion on site, the inspector was convinced that the building's existence could simply be ignored, thus leaving Trevor's house to be lost, forgotten, vandalised, and later explored by future travellers.
So we've just stopped off at our first location, which was more of an impromptu stop. Now we've all kind of, we've come to what we know as Flinders, not the cliffs that we wanted to go to, but these are the cliffs that we're actually stopping at. Here's Welshie with his Christmas Day beverage. Absolutely beautiful.
The Flinders Blowhole track is one of the few places where you can access the ocean between Cape Schanck and Flinders.
We've decided to go for a bit of an explore at the moment. Gonna go see if we can get out on the big rock in the middle of the water. Don't know if you can probably see it from here. Have a look. I think that's about it there. It's about 20-ish degrees today, which is nice because Christmas Day was about 38 and we all wanted to kill ourselves. If you haven't figured it out, Welshie's from the UK, so he's been here for a while, but still doesn't really like hot weather, neither do I for that matter. But I'm actually surrounded by Toms at the moment. We've got Oliver, who's got English heritage, and Coco, who's from the UK as well. So none of us really like the heat all that much.
The Blowhole track is located on WARRIYO Road, opposite Razorback Road. At the car park there is a lookout with magnificent views of the wild rocky coastline and Bass Strait. But this wasn't enough for us, we needed to explore more. The rock we're currently standing on is called Elephant Rock, and from a specific angle you can see that it looks like the shape of a laying down elephant. We walk down to the ocean and the blowhole is by way of a well-made track and a wooden boardwalk and stairway. There are some interesting spots to take photos on the way down. Little Bird Rock, which is the rock that we wanted to go to, is off to the right and is a favourite spot with birds. The blowhole is on the right at the end of Elephant Rock. Take care walking over the huge bluestone boulders as they can be slippery. You've also got to beware of large swells and waves as they can catch you off guard. The town of Flinders was named by George Bass after his friend, the explorer and British naval officer, Matthew Flinders. Settlement commenced in 1854 and many pioneers and settlers are buried at the Flinders Cemetery. Captain Matthew Flinders was an English navigator and cartographer who was the leader of the first circumnavigation of Australia and identified it as a continent. Flinders made 3 voyages to the Southern Ocean between 1791 and 1810. In the second voyage, George Bass and Flinders confirmed that Van Diemen's Land, now Tasmania, was an island. In the third voyage, Flinders circumnavigated the mainland of what was to be called Australia, accompanied by Aboriginal man Bungaree. Heading back to England in 1803, Flinders' vessel needed urgent repairs at Isle de France, Mauritius. Now keep that fact in mind, because you'll need it later.
Always venturing off into the wild without us. He looks like a majestic mountain goat. So we just scaled this. This is where we were, and some of us still are. Slowly climbing up the sheer rock face now, all the way down to here. Had a little bit to drink, so it's a little bit scary.
Although Britain and France were at war, Flinders thought the scientific nature of his work would ensure safe passage. But a suspicious governor kept him under arrest for more than 6 years. In captivity, he recorded details of his voyages for future publication and put forward his rationale for naming the new continent Australia. Flinders' health had suffered. However, and although he reached home in 1810, he did not live to see the publication of his widely praised books and atlas, A Voyage to Terra Australis.
Hey, there's Ollie. So we've made it. We made it to the rock that we wanted to get to. It's the one in the centre of the alcove. How do you feel, Welshie?
Pretty good.
Yeah?
Going back up's gonna be a fucking
Oh man, it's gonna be horrible. Like, I am sweating like crazy. This was just such an exhausting climb.
beautiful.
But it's absolutely incredible from where we are. I don't know if the camera's gonna do it much justice at all.
It's only us two to put up here as well.
Yeah, at the moment it's literally the 2 of us.
There's no room for anyone else in here, it's just us.
Yeah, it's so beautiful. This would be insane when the sunset was going down. Like, I wish this video, and I really hope it does do it justice, but this is incredible. We're probably about 30 meters above sea level right now on this just weird rock outcrop. There's literally, yeah, there's nothing at all. Like behind us, you'll see sheer drop. You'll see the guys on the beach somewhere. And there's just a drop everywhere you go. Absolutely incredible.
Hold tight, hold tight. Dripping lights paint the skies, all because of you.
Although a small township, the people of Flinders are capable of big things. The fish and chip shop is where you'll find all the surfer types and young families. It's extremely popular, and they have the Guinness World Record for the biggest vanilla slice ever made at 508.11 kilograms.
I wish we'd read this before we fucking climbed down the side of the cliff.
Is it a crime to eat a succulent Chinese meal?
So alive, make it last forever. Stop in time, yeah, I'm surrendering. Hold tight, hold tight.
The tide was starting to come in and the sun was starting to go down, so we decided it was time that we should probably leave Flinders Blowhole. From here we travelled about 10 minutes down the road. Not entirely sure what Ollie had in store for us, but boy were we glad when we got there.
Of you, dripping lights paint the sky.
So we're currently making our way to our 3rd and final spot for today. We've been walking for maybe 5-10 minutes or so. Very, very exhausting. All uphill so far. Tell you what, we're getting a good workout though. So now we're actually going to head up to Flinders Cliffs.
I honestly think that was one of the most beautiful spots that we've ever been to. Oliver is a professional photographer, so we happen to sometimes go on road trips with him like this all over Victoria. But on this day, I don't think I could ever say that I've seen a more beautiful sunset in my 25 years of being on this planet. And it's little moments like this that really go to show why Victoria and Melbourne is one of the most livable places on Earth.
So it's been a fantastic day down at Flinders today. We've had a really good time. It's absolutely beautiful down there. It's so picturesque. We're just stopping off for food at the moment on the way home. It's about an hour and a half, 2 hours outside of Melbourne, going in the southeasterly direction towards Mornington. And just, I could not believe my eyes. Like, the sunset down there was absolutely gorgeous, and definitely would go down there again. But it's a bit of a hike to get to the good spots, that's for sure. But really enjoyable. I would recommend going to it.
Hey guys, thanks for swinging by. If you like that video, go hit subscribe and stay tuned for the next video, in which I'll be heading to Sydney. I'll catch you later, and until then, this is an Aussie Abroad, signing off.